On March 25, 1949, the USSR began Operation Priboi. It was one of the largest of the Soviet Union's mass deportations of Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians. Over 5 days, nearly 100,000 people were loaded onto trains and sent to Siberia. The vast majority were women and children. After carving up Europe in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, Moscow forced the Baltic states to host Soviet bases on their territory. The Red Army moved in without firing a shot. With the world's attention focused on the fall of France, Stalin installed puppet governments and then annexed the Baltics outright. While the U.S. and other Western powers never recognized the Soviet annexation after the war, they were powerless to oppose it. But controlling the Baltics proved troublesome. 4 years after defeating Germany, the USSR was still fighting armed partisans known as the Forest Brothers. Collectivization, already achieved by force and famine elsewhere, was also proceeding more slowly than planned. Plans were drawn up in secret. The target was set at 30,000 families, those of rich farmers, forest brothers, and other, quote, undesirable elements. Trucks waited at the borders of the Baltic countries until the orders came. Thousands of Soviet secret police and Interior Ministry troops moved in, and thousands more militia and communists from within the Baltics were enlisted to help. The operation effectively put an end to the anti-Soviet insurgency. Over 20,000 Estonians, 30,000 Lithuanians, and 40,000 Latvians were deported. A report to Stalin said nearly 3,000 were, quote, decrepit, solitary old people. A smaller number were unaccompanied children. Almost 3/4 were women and children under the age of 16. One Estonian communist official, Arnold Meri, was being prosecuted for his role in the deportations when he died in 2009. The prosecution said he helped exile 13 people over the age of 75 and more than 60 children aged 12 and under. 11 of the elderly died. Russia posthumously awarded him its Order of Honor. Scattered in special settlements across a wide swath of Siberia, half of the deportees ended up around Irkutsk and Omsk. The settlements have been described as, quote, gulags without barbed wire. The penalty for attempting to escape was 20 years of hard labor. Many did hard labor anyway. Yanina Markovichina, deported a year earlier, spent 2 years on a logging team. Others worked in mines. When Stalin's death was announced at school in 1953, she says she hid her face and pretended to cry along. The deportees were gradually rehabilitated and slowly allowed to return. Yanina went back to her native Lithuania in 1968. But many would never regain lost possessions, loved ones, or lives.